What if the EU Data Protection Board and the EU Data Council will announce data laws in the summer?
A very complex matter. So, as you know, in 2020, the Court of Justice of the European Union said that American surveillance was too intrusive, and therefore we needed to stop sending European data to the US. What has happened since is that there have been negotiations between the EU and the US, and the US have actually changed their legislation quite a bit to mitigate the issue. So what we are now assessing is whether these changes to their surveillance laws, whether they are sufficient to meet the European standard. And there are a lot of details and it's very complex. I think that we are definitely going in the right direction. There have been very positive developments from the US side. So let's see, it's the European Commission that will formally take a decision, maybe this summer. But I think with all the positive changes, there is a chance that they will approve the new mechanism and we can start sending data to the US again. But there is also a challenge here because the European Commission, that's just one voice, and other people may disagree because there are still some issues. There are always some issues. So I think it will go to the court again. So in this case, I think the court will have the final say.
Can you elaborate on how the GDPR works as an enforcement model?
So we have this thing called the one-stop shop in Europe under the GDPR. So essentially, let's say that you have a company that is established in one country, but they have customers all over Europe. And let's say that, it's Meta, like Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, the Meta companies, they are established in Ireland. If someone in Norway wants to make a complaint against them, they could actually come to us and we can refer the complaint to Ireland, the Irish Data Protection Commission, and they will do the investigation. So then we have this kind of cooperation. If someone has an issue with a Norwegian company, we will get the complaint and we can help the complainant, even though they are in Sweden or Spain or whatever. So that's good. In terms of the unfair burden, the thing is that many companies, many of the biggest companies, are all situated in a few countries, and most of them actually in Ireland. And that means that Irish colleagues have a bigger enforcement burden because they have all the big tech companies. And often those cases are the biggest cases, the most complex cases, the cases that receive the greatest interest from the general public and from the media. And so the pressure on them is definitely a lot bigger. Whereas, for example, in Norway, we have very few big international companies. So we have less pressure. So there's kind of like an unevenness, especially if you look at Norway and Ireland, because our population is more or less the same, but they have so many more cases than us. And so it is kind of weird that some of the biggest cases end up just in one country.